You're listening to the Gag On This podcast.
I see you standing up and I want to knock you down.
I have no desire to get another tattoo. Where am I going to get the word rad on me?
Rad?
Rad.
On your fupa.
She refused to put my handle on her. Hey, Saul. I told her, I can just put rad chick forever on you. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And I was like, all right, fine.
Rad chick forever.
That's your porn name. Your OnlyFans name. What's that stand for? That's my mom's OnlyFans name.
We're going to have a
Tattooed on my ass.
Forever.
What's up, Saul?
What's up? What did I walk in on? Who's getting a tattoo of what?
Trash talk. My daughter turns 18 next week and wants to get matching tattoos with me.
Oh, what? You got an 18-year-old daughter?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know, right? I can't believe she's waited all these years.
If I didn't know Saul was married, I'd be like, I think he just got turned on a bit when he heard 18. His face was like, you got an 18-year-old daughter?
No. I don't. No. It's the opposite. I'll fuck your aunt over your daughter. You're like in your late 40s with like some saggers. I'm all about it.
Saggers. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I don't fuck skinny guys. I don't want when we're both walking towards each other for you to look like me.
Laurel and Hardy.
Bigger and like better.
Number 10.
Said that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, shall we begin, guys? You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
You look high as fuck.
I forgot.
Me? Nah, I'm just relaxed.
Oh, okay.
But I just happen to be high from like maybe an hour ago. But yeah, you know.
Shit happens.
Welcome to the Gag On This podcast. Episode description has a show and guest social media. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Hear the episode 2 days before it is released. Like and follow us on Facebook. Sharon is dis-fucking-peered. There we go.
Can't work it.
Okay. Where the fuck was I?
I'm sorry.
Now I got Danny in a fucking... Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking me up. Okay.
Focus on what you're doing.
I am Big Nick. As always, I'm joined by nationally traveling comedian, the Italian stallion, Danny. That's a bit cunty D.
Wow.
We are joined by co-host of the Stand Up Dads podcast and my Portuguese lover, Rob.
Hello.
Host of the Iambic Poetry podcast, DJ for Comedy on the Rocks, which will be back next year, and Sacramento Poet Laureate. We got Sharon.
Hello.
And we have the hilarious comedian, Saul.
What's up, dude?
Woohoo.
You can say the last name. Be like, I'm not going to try.
All right, Saul Trujillo.
Well, I do have to say I feel bad because Danny corrected me. I was calling you Saul. I was like, I would love to get Saul on.
Well, everybody does that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have the little thing over the U that's supposed to make it Saul, but that's just, my parents just like, you're Saul. I'm like, whatever, dude. And whatever, dude. People have called me Salvador. I don't care. It doesn't matter. People like really it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Well, it mattered to Danny when I said it wrong. Like her face was like visibly disgusted.
Well, here's what it is if you're real cool about it like that, then people will go out of their way to remember your name. But if you're real like an asshole about it, they're just like, I just the person I hate, and I'll never remember how to pronounce their name.
So
is that not right? Oh.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Like my big concern is basically being incorrect in name while I die when I'm dead. You know, the pastors up there say, and Sharon will miss him. So who the fuck is Sharon?
Easy bitch ass names for my kids. 4 letters, easy to say. They're from the Bible, I think. You know.
Is there a capital R in the middle part of your name for real? Sure.
Yep.
That's sick, dude. I thought it was like the old Rough Riders Dragon.
Oh, you got that. I love that. I love that you said dragon. Yeah.
That's what it was. A dragon. It was Dragon. It was tight.
It was.
Rob, do you know the Rough Riders?
I do not. What?
DMA?
Nope.
Fucking stop, drop, open up shop. Oh, no.
We won't know.
What do you know, Rob?
I know I don't know shit, man. I'm an old man.
I wasn't trying to be kind of like an asshole there. I was like, what would be the equivalent of Dragon or Rough Riders to whatever you listen to?
Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't even realize it was a musical reference. I'm thinking Dragon. Was that like a role-playing thing? And so, that's why I just decided to keep quiet because like an old D&D reference. I'm like, fuck. I'm just going to shut up and hope no one notices. And it didn't work.
That's what I do all the time because I don't know.
Who's the earliest rap group you know?
Who are you asking?
You.
Oh, let's see. Would have to be probably that I could remember. I remember, would Dougie Fresh count?
No.
Nice.
Or Run DMC?
Yeah.
That's early. Isn't that bad?
Yeah.
I remember that. But mainly because they were with Aerosmith.
I'm okay with the rest of it. I don't want to see how it evolves.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's that? Cool in the Gang? That's
not rap.
Rap group.
It's not rap.
But just for a while there, especially like late 80s, it just sounded like Dr. Seuss.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I just was like, I can't fucking do this. So I went on to, it's like I can listen to Dr. Seuss or I can listen to the Misfits or shit like that. So
there you go. Listen to Curtis Blow.
I remember some guy in high school called me Rob Bass for years and I had no idea why. And then figured out.
What's Rob Bass? Maybe I don't know why.
He was a singer. I had no fucking clue. I'm damn near 50. You won't get this shit.
I know Rob Bass because they reference it in some rap song.
There you go.
Really?
Are you in LA or are you home for the holidays?
Oh, well, see, the thing is that I've been doing, I've done 9 shows so far in 5 days. So San Francisco has been really nice, has been really kind. And I got it right on the cusp of them thinking about, like, we're not going to probably do this for a while anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like probably the last. I talked to the booker, and he was just like, "I'm gonna get hit up by a bunch of people, but I don't know if I want to." It's the ticket sales. It's not necessarily the COVID. They were just like, the sales aren't there, and it's because of COVID, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you went hard.
Yeah, no, and then it's like I'm going to take a COVID test tomorrow, and just fingers crossed, because you just being a fucking traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Just going up and down San Francisco. I mean, I'm obviously trying to be 6 feet from someone, but they're just homeless dudes who are within 3 feet, 4 feet. They're just in my face.
Well, people
you can't help that.
Comedy and they just want to like touch you, like grab you and give you a hug and think you're hella funny and like all this other shit because you just look like a lovable, hug.
Well, it could be that, or it could be I spent the first night in San Francisco, and then somebody was freebasing heroin on my car the next morning.
Oh, that's always good.
That. So there's stuff like that. I was like, I could get COVID like that if she blows the smoke in my face.
That's a rude awakening.
But it was weird, it's just and I got a street parking or a street cleaning ticket, and it's just like, you haven't changed, San Francisco. You're still shitty. But this time was great. It was weird though, because the only people out right now who are like going to shows in San Francisco, because it's like feels like you're doing a show for monarchy, like fucking people who are just like rich, like they won't tell you what app they invented, but they won't laugh, but they'll like chuckle. And I don't like that. I'm not here to amuse you. You better laugh. But that's how all the shows were. They were fine. They were fine. It's just the 1% watching the rest of us fucking do stand up next to garbage cans.
I'm not here to amuse you, but you better laugh.
Yeah, right? Laugh.
That's a good book title, I think. When you got your memoir, there you go.
Yeah.
That's where you go out.
But no, I can't lie. All these shows were great. They were a lot of fun.
So one thing I want to ask you, Saul, because I think you and maybe one other person I've ever met in my life can actually like rock a mullet and like not come across like bad or anything.
It looks weird with the space background I got going on, but I'm just going to keep it as that. But I my wife hates it. She hates it completely, and that's what makes me want to keep it. And,
I understand that.
No, and then I offered. I was like, look, I'll cut my hair because I've had the mullet for like 2 years. I was like, I'll cut my hair, but I think the next is gonna be a rat tail. And she was just like, you can't cut your hair. She's so used to the mullet now. She hates it, but she's so used to it. She's like, you just look weird any other way. I was like, all right.
For a while.
I guess. I like her just like, yeah, for maybe 2 weeks, and then you'll get used to it.
I have this same exact thing with my wife because I'll have a full beard or I'll have nothing, and she hates the beard. And
oh my God, I love the beard. You rock it so well. Nick is so jealous when you have that beard.
It's like a Play-Doh barber station. Just there it goes. There's some more.
You're a man.
But yeah, it's the same thing. She's like, you look weird now. And then it's like, so should I not have shaved it? It's like, no, you should have shaved it. And then don't tell me I look fucking weird.
Oh, look at that love right
They just
there.
want something to complain about. Blah, blah, blah.
I can believe that. I believe it.
Sometimes.
Oh,
I'm jealous though. Don't ever, because how long does it take you to grow your beard?
Couple weeks.
Oh, good for you.
a day or two.
Not really.
This what I got going on, this indigenous blood shit I got going on here. It doesn't get past that. It doesn't get past. No, it's not. If I shave down completely, I really look like my Selena joke, and I hate it. My wife tells me she'll leave me if I shave the top and the bottom.
Nick can't grow facial hair either, so you're not alone. You're not alone. Nick, you would think Nick was Asian. Like, he can't grow hair at all.
Nick.
See, that's. I mean, I get more of a neck beard than anything. Like this up here, this is about 3 weeks or so, but like the neck beard is just so thick.
If I let my facial hair grow out, I'd have more facial hair than you, Nick.
Like an Italian grandma.
Yeah.
But Nick has
do you pluck or shave, Danielle?
Pluck for sure.
Yeah, my girl plucks too. It's fucking weird. She does it in the car when we're waiting for stuff.
Oh,
that's the best lighting. That's the best mirror. That's the best lighting.
Yeah, and I see the ones that she's missing, and I don't help her. I was like, you gotta earn. You gotta earn.
Yeah.
I see the one she's missing. I'm not a good husband.
Dang.
I don't know why she's married.
I wonder that. I'm always like, fuck. Like, why wouldn't they tell me that? But I get it.
Because like, who cares realistically? But she does. Like, I don't care. I don't care like how she looks. If she go out in sweatpants or whatever, I don't give a shit. I don't care about any of that. But, like, she thinks like I'm just being a guy, just going, I legit don't give a shit. She cares about looking like a human being. So, that's why she gets irritated when I don't tell her about the ones she misses.
I don't care how you look, just don't smell like ass.
Oh, even that. I don't know. Not like ass.
You've only been married like a couple months. You'll get it. You'll get the hang.
I guess if you say so. If you haven't, like, I'm like I really don't care about a lot of things. But I guess.
But if you point it out, you're the asshole that pointed it out.
I'm just an asshole, Danielle.
I know that.
I pointed out to point it out because it's funny.
Not everyone, I guess, thinks what we have to say is funny. Because my daughter all the time is like, "That's not funny," and I was like, "I laughed."
No.
Yeah. So
That's because she's 18. Oh, there's Auntie Vice.
Oh, there it is.
Because I was so glad you got your dad's boobs and not mine, Emma. And she was like, "That's fucked up." And I was like,
that is fucked up.
It's fucked up, but that's funny.
About that?
Why did she care?
No, why did you say I'm glad?
Because obviously I don't want her to have mine. Mine are huge. I don't want her to be a cute girl with giant titties. She got her dad's tits.
Well, aren't you selfish?
Seriously.
Unfortunately, your son got her tits.
Whatever bloodline my wife's dad had, I hope my son has that amount of penis. All right, I don't want him to get the one that's still going to me. Don't get any of my bloodline on that. Her dad was 6 something. He had to have been hung, so I'm hoping he gets that.
You hope.
Because I'm hoping his son has a big. Every father should hope that his son has a bigger penis than him.
I failed my kid.
Yeah.
He's gonna fail mine. He's gonna look down and go, "What is this?"
I pissed all over his gene pool.
Good luck, dude. Yeah, are you a pug as well? Because I'm a pug as well. You just get breathing problems when you're older.
Oh, yeah.
You're fucking good up front, but towards the end, it's bad.
You guys talking about your dick still?
No, I'm just talking about aging in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a plug dick too. Why it folds and it's adorable.
Pink and it sticks out like a chili pepper.
Inverted, it's got breathing problems. Like
yeah. No, I'm just talking about aging in general. It sucks.
yeah, it does.
How old are you?
30. I turned 36 in December.
Fuck, you're not old.
Oh, yeah, fuck you. Just because you're ultra old doesn't mean old. Old people are just like, you're not old, but you're just older.
When you're heavy, like when you're fat and you're in your 30s, you feel like you're 50. Because I know some days I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I'm only 38. Like I feel a lot older. Like my knees crack. I can't breathe sometimes. Like it's just rough when you're a big dog.
I get it.
Die early. Shut up.
Get
You're
it.
healthy.
You guys are all old.
I'm healthy.
I mean, skinny-ish.
I said you guys are all old. I'm apparently the young buck of this podcast.
How old are you?
35.
We're the same age.
You're 36.
I turned 36 next month.
Oh, so you're still 35.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy. That's what I said.
Turn 44 next month.
I just started getting acid reflux, and that's a new thing. I thought I was getting a heart attack every day. It was just chest pressure and your back hurts, and nope. Every burp just felt incredible. It was bad.
So how's your tit sweat?
Not bad. Yeah, I feel like that's a chest hair thing, man. I don't have a lot of chest hair.
Neither do I, but my tits just fucking sweat.
Your tits are pretty big though for a guy. You have like a C cup.
For me?
It's a full B.
It's a B cup.
No,
we
so
measured Nick's tits one day on the podcast. We measured them.
Oh
He
shit!
wanted to. Not anything I requested, but he's got pretty large breasts for a man.
Not that big. Got B cups.
Okay.
as Danny said, I am like an inch away from a C cup.
An inch away from a C cup?
Yeah. So like I'm all right. Maybe a stack of Twinkies away from a C cup, but they got some heft. They do have some heft. Like,
do you have the same problem I do? Like when you're thrusting, your tits sag, like go like when her tits go when she's on top? Because that's what happens to me.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
My tits go. So.
Well, what's great is you said you don't have chest hair. I don't have chest hair. So every now and then I'll push them together and I'll be like, that's a pert rack right there, buddy. No? Really? Did I just disgust you?
I was like, it caught me off guard. You do it every once in a while, but then you look down and you go, yes, I shouldn't be doing this. You know?
That's true.
I can just picture Nick thinking, well, I can't reach my mouth, but I might be able to give myself a tit wank. But
oh, that sucks when you can't reach your nipple with your mouth. Sorry, you guys.
No, he can't reach his dick with his mouth, but he might be able to reach his chest. Some people.
Ron Jeremy can.
Ron Jeremy's in prison.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's doing that in prison, right? That's a good party trick to have in prison, I guess.
Please don't beat my ass. Look what I can do.
Is this a podcast? Is it just us yelling shit? Is that what Gag On This?
Part of it.
Partly.
I don't know.
No, I actually got questions, but we were just having so much fun talking about our man titties. No, I do have some questions because I do want to talk about one thing I thought was really cool is you were on Laugh After Dark. You were on the second season?
Second season, Laugh After Dark on Amazon Prime. What a lot of people probably they're not gonna know this show, but back when Amazon Prime was looking for content, they were just giving out people just like, if you have a show, pitch it to us. It was like this giant search for content. So for a while, Amazon Prime Video was just looking for people and just a bunch of independent. So this small independent company in Los Angeles sold a comedy showcase called Laugh After Dark. And see, it's the first two seasons. They look like like they were done in an apartment because they were done in an apartment. So, but third season, they actually got money on it. And for my opinion, all the comics that were like the season after mine, like fire. The whole season was going to be just comedians from across the country that I respected a lot. Not to say there's not that what's going on in season 1 or 2, but it's like a lot of comics that are about a year and 2 years in. It just felt like, I'm not trying to shit on the show, but it felt like they were just going for a look to where that's how I felt. In my opinion, I got the show because of my mullet look, and then I just so happened to be funny. You know what I mean? So I get a lot of like, hey, your episode's good. And I go, oh, thanks. But it's on Amazon Prime. I had a lot of fun shooting it. I got to shoot it with two of my great comedy, three actually. Key Lewis, fucking Diego Quirio, and Jimmy Earl, all comics out of SAC, all got onto this, all killers. And I had a great time experiencing like my streaming platform debut with my friends.
What's up?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had to burp.
I saw. That's what I've been doing all these past 3 days.
Usually I just burp on mic and I don't care, but this burp was stinky and I didn't want it like lingering around my hair.
You can tell ahead of time.
Stay in the foam, because that's what happens if you keep burping into that foam like a couch.
Yeah, because you know about that because you have a podcast, my sir. Yeah,
dude. It's called Joke Me Off. I do it with comedian Nick Larson. Comedian/photographer/male model Nick Larson.
So since we got Gag on this, you got Joke Me Off. What was the pun on that one?
It's like Jerk Me Off, but jokes.
Yeah.
You had to ask.
No, I knew. I was just saying. That was one explanation of what came.
No, we were just like, hey, we're both extroverted, just weird guys. Like when we're on podcasts, we do this like we've been doing it 7 years, so it's back and forth. And Nick is like one of the only humans in the world where I can just throw something out so weird and or just so outlandish, and he'll, instead of going, what, that's weird, or laughing at it, he has the capability of grabbing my idea and then just rolling with it, or having there's a laugh that you have with someone you've been doing a podcast with. Like Nick's laugh encourages me to dig real deep in myself to become funny. I don't know what it is, but it's just I've had such chemistry with Nick, so I feel like that's our podcast is slept on. We don't have any sponsors, we don't have anything, but there'll be some times where I'm listening to it, I'm like, this is pretty funny, you know. But that took 7 years to form and mold, and like probably over 500, like 300 episodes together, 400 episodes together, something like that.
Is it just the two of you, or do you guys have? Oh, you said you don't have guests, or you don't?
We do have guests. Like we had. Who did we have? We had Mikey Winfield on. We've had guests on in the past, but lately no, because there's like COVID times. But Danielle Arce, who happens to be living with Nick, she's a funny comedian out of Arizona. She just moved in with Nick, and she's been on the podcast like just by default, so like a third host.
So how's that working with you now living in LA? Like, I know that you were really like, you had like the Deaf Puppies and the 209, like you're very, even your fucking tattoo, you ain't shit. Like you're definitely like 209, like through and through 100%. So like, how like the transition, the change, like, has it been like super rough? I know you were homeless for a while and shit.
Yeah, I wasn't living in my car for the first like 6 months, and I just did it, man. I went with no money, and I told my wife, who was my fiance at the time, I was like, hey, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And like people don't necessarily like know, like I didn't just do it out of nowhere. I randomly took acid for the first time a year before that, and then I was like, and all in one go, it felt like I was fixed. I was like, I'm quitting gambling, moving to LA, asking my girl to marry me. Perfect. From one acid trip. So that kind of switched it. And then like a week later, I won the Sacramento Comedy Competition, and everything else kind of like went in order that way.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have said like something cool, like, I don't know, end world hunger. Because I don't think I'd have been able to do it, but I'd have been on it, dude.
Well, and you've lost hella weight too, like during COVID, where most of us have put like hella weight on. You've lost hella weight. Like you're definitely spending your time productively.
That's only because I'm terrified of like just my own health. Like I'm like super, what is it? I'm like paranoid about my health, but I don't go to the doctor. So it's like I'll go into like spurs of like weight loss, keto like diets, and just like fish pills. I'll do like all these. I'll like for 2 months straight, I'll go to the gym and like lose a bunch of weight, and then I'll start eating like shit again, and then like I'll start getting acid reflux and like my shoulder. But I have like I fucked up my shoulder sleeping. I didn't know that was such a common thing in my demographic of people. Like I know like 4 or 5 different people. I just woke up one day and my fucking shoulder is broken. I was like, yeah, mine too.
I'll send you a link for this amazing pillow I have. It will change your life.
Ooh, I like that.
It's just a picture of her tits.
Hey, that'll work.
That's not gonna help them sleep. That's just gonna get them in trouble.
Might.
You might as well make a pillowcase of your breast, a picture of your pillowcase of your breast, and everybody will just sleep on it like this.
That would sell like hotcakes.
It would sell like hotcakes. It will sell like
Teeny
hotcakes.
pillows.
Yeah, teeny fiddles. There you go.
But yeah, LA has been a difficult transition. I mean, I was homeless for a while, but right before COVID, it felt like I was making this progress of getting into the festivals that I wanted to get into, making progress with every other club except the Store. Like the Improv was giving me a show, was booking me, and Ice House was booking me. It felt like Laugh Factory. I was about to do one of their YouTube clips. Like I got through the open mic system. They're like, "Do you want to film next week?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then everything shut down the very next week. So like everything shut down. All the festivals I got into, all the progress at these and anybody, I was sort of deflated, but I was like, look, I just got here. I haven't even been here a year. I gotta just take it on the chin and write and then self-reflect. But LA now sucks. It's not good. It's real bad. You guys, if there are people from New York coming, like because they can't do shows in New York because it's all cold. Everything's an outdoor show. They're coming to LA where it's bearable and they can think they can get on shows out here, but there's no mics. There's nothing. I mean, there was a curfew in LA for like a week before the entire state became a curfew. So LA sucks now, but I'm really I'm chomping at the bits for live to come back because then I got all these plans, Yeah.
It was really awesome seeing you in Vegas, just watching someone who I admire and respect fucking perform. It was fucking
I
good.
was so high on whatever. I forgot. It was too much. It was too much that night. I yelled at a lady. It was weird.
Yeah.
What
By
up,
the way,
David?
we are joined by the Southern Reject, David Thorne.
David Thorne. What's up, dude?
I miss having
Can we not
David
hear him?
come to our shows.
You can hear him.
I don't think he said anything.
Oh, he didn't say
I
it.
have to speak louder, I guess. I have to talk like Samuel L. Jackson.
There you go.
On the motherfucking plane.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
All right.
We know you're here now.
I like how he
Yeah,
just
Danny's like,
showed
"All right,
up
settle
and
down."
Danny's already pissed.
Calm down.
He just showed up and she was just like, all right.
Speak up. Goddamn.
6 o'clock is the worst time to do a fucking podcast, boys.
Really?
Family dinner.
I
pizza
work.
home. I'm sorry to do a job.
I do want to
The
say
errands I was running, I was cooking dinner for me and my wife, and I was like, podcast.
It's like, I got to go.
I got a fucking nobody Facebook calls me outside of my drug dealer, so I was like, what's this about?
I was like, well, he hasn't read him yet. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna Facebook call. That's it.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, I just gotta do this real quick. And I'm surprised my dogs aren't barking right now, but they aren't, so they're being good boys. I'm a huge fan of dogs. Sorry, all this shit on stage is I don't know what it is about comics, but I love animals, man. They're the best.
What's your favorite kind of dog?
Australian Shepherd. I'm a big fan.
Really?
And that just out of nowhere. Yeah, I grew up stock pit bull just because I was Mexican. Oh, I thought pit bulls and chihuahuas were so cool.
And in Stockton.
And Stockton, but you figure out that there are other dogs, and you're just like, oh, this is. And I grew up around comics from Manteca and Modesto, and then all these Australian Shepherds are just brilliant animals. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they are.
And my wife has a 13-year-old cat that I like to get high, and it'll just sit there and make biscuits on my stomach. If you're fat and you have a cat, it'll scratch the shit out of your stomach, and it's a cute game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. Daddy knows. They'll just go for hours.
I have a cat that loves me so much. Every time I'm in the house, she's on top of me, and I'm like, "Can you get off? Come on!"
He's like, just give me a titty. Just give me a titty. Give me the claw.
Exactly.
Oh man.
One thing I do want to ask you about, because I didn't realize you did this. You released a comedy album.
Oh man. See, that's one of those albums that I'm not necessarily I hated it at first, but it's beautifully produced. My buddy Nick Larson produced it. There was like 4 cameras. He did it, and because he had faith in me, and I hated it for the first 3 years that it was out. Like, I don't really promote it. It's called Drugstore Debutante, and I self-released it when I wasn't ready, in my opinion. Like, I should be releasing an album now. I shouldn't have released if you're not ready to release an album before 10 years. And that's what I thought. I was 7 years in, and the jokes are good. The jokes are, like, in my head, I hate to sound like a comedy cunt, but they seem very sophomoric at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I could refine those jokes better. But it's fun, and it's good to see what I could laugh at it now because I surprised myself because I was really high that night. I had taken edibles on accident, and
on accident.
Yeah, I didn't think some of them were homemade. So I took 1 cookie, and they were like, "Oh, they're not that strong." So I was like, "I should probably," but I took the other. I took 2. I took 2, and it was too high.
Yeah.
But I still feel the hour. It's sloppy. I wish it was tighter. It's not tight at all, but it's something. It's a good lesson for when I release an album that I'm going to make sure the fat is cut. And if the fat isn't cut, it has to be extremely funny. Because if you're just up there babbling, like if you're up there riffing and it's just that's the worst when I see a comic riff and they're just bombing with riffs. That's what hurts my feelings the most. Bombing with stand material is one thing, but I don't like bombing with crowd work. And it bugs me. I don't know why. Just because I consider myself more of an improv comic.
So did you record just the one set, or did you have a bunch and pick and choose?
I recorded just the one set, all the way through, man. It was it was at this cigar lounge that I still think is so old school, incredible. Like, it reminds me of like Lenny Bruce, like old jazz places. You can see the cigar smoke in the air. It's called Cheroot Lounge in Modesto, and that was run by Anthony K. If you guys have had him on, have had him on the show, right? Yeah. Anthony K used to run a cigar lounge called Cheroot Lounge. It was like one of the best.
I went on it's pretty fucking dope.
It only fits about 50 people at max, and that's really all you need. The ceilings are like it's dark, and it's perfect for comedy.
And lung cancer, either way.
And lung cancer, yeah. You smell awful. Like, my clothes the next day are the worst, but
I used
to hang out there a lot.
Oh.
But when it comes back, man, I look forward to the day when it comes back, because it's going to be a society that we're going to be living in a society that needs something, and it's going to be building blocks, and I feel like comedy is going to be thriving when everything starts to come back.
If it's like that, when was it that comedy was real? It was like that late 80s, early 90s and shit. Dude,
yeah.
Like when everything was like fucking stand-up comedy, shit was crazy.
I think it's going to come back that same exact way, but I don't know. Like, it felt like it was a lot of like comics who weren't very funny, who just had a look right before this pandemic. Not necessarily big guys, but the ones that they're trying to have it come back. And it didn't feel like it was all the way fine. I'm looking forward to people being more selective, by people being industry or just the gatekeepers being more selective. And like, this person's deserves this, not just because they're this look right now.
I feel like Sacramento for a while had some gatekeepers and things were okay, and now there's no gatekeepers and it's fucking chaotic out here. It's
yeah, when there's no one running anything, or you know,
yeah,
when there's no punchline, there's laps. Jenny's like, I feel like the last hope of like comedy clubs sets in stand up.
Doing events outside right now.
Yeah,
doing events outside, but like, you know, people aren't going to want to sit out there in that cold ass weather.
It's cold.
It's cold.
I know she just set up. She did it again. She set up a private pods with heaters on them.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, okay. It's just some people are just survivors, and she's definitely one of them, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You don't have Eventbrite's money to sit on while you're waiting, or Live Nation's money to sit on while you're waiting for Punchline to open again. You know,
ain't that the fucking truth, right? That's all. It's all her.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And that's you know, that's I like to bring stuff on a downer, you know.
I was gonna say, since that's not
anyway, and then I just make it sad again. You guys want to talk about, I don't know, sad albums, huh?
I do. You already know how much I adore you, but so the last night, I don't know if you remember, but like this really stuck out to me. Before you went to LA, I went to Finnegan's to say goodbye to you. And you gave me an edible since you were talking about him earlier. And then I got hella sick and I was like throwing up. And I was like, no, I gotta go say goodbye to Saul. And I like came and I gave you a hug and you were like,
I drove home
you
that night,
yeah. He drove home and he's like, you don't smell so good, Danny. He's like, why didn't you go freshen up? And I was like, okay. And then I like just kept puking. It was a horrible night. But yeah, thanks. Don't trust him. They're really strong.
Well, you, D. Tyler, Jared Guzman, all victims of. But see, the thing is, it's not fair because I'm eating them just like nothing. I mean, 2, 3 of them, and you guys eat one, and you're like, wow.
Well, it's like Tom doing, other drugs or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
People can handle it, and some can't.
I told you about. I got 4 comics one time. It was me. It was a World Series of Comedy about 3 years ago. We got done with night 1. It was me, Jenny from Laughs. Oh my God, a bunch of 3 or 4 different comics. And then 2 of them had taken the edibles. 3 of them had taken edibles. Me too. And we're all walking. Might have been a half mile from where we parked to Buffalo Wild Wings. And then 2 of them had to hang on to Jenny's arms because they said they were scared they were going to fly away.
Wow. Bet she loved that.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I snuck 37 edibles through the airport security, but then I didn't even find out that's not even a big deal.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, I guess you can just
stay in California.
Yeah, well, no, I went into Nevada.
Oh, okay. Wasn't it illegal there too?
I mean, I bring drugs on the plane all the time. I don't give a shit. I bring all kinds of drugs with me when I go on vacation. Fuck it, I don't care.
I was trying to network, and I don't know if it helped, but it was fun. This was a network with edibles. This was a network with cool stuff like cocaine, but edibles, I don't remember the night.
Cocaine's too expensive to network with. Fuck that. Unless it's a woman, no.
Oh, I do it all the time. I here, look, I still network with cocaine, okay? I don't necessarily do it, but some people do it, okay?
Right.
I was at an open mic in Los Angeles about 6 months ago, and this Mexican dude with a chest tattoo, he came up to me and 2 other comics. He's like, hey, you guys do coke? I was like, I don't, but I would like to purchase a gram. So I purchased a gram, which stayed under some duct tape that I had by my desk, and that just stayed there for a month until one of my friends came over, who I don't know, just like a comic in LA. He was like, oh man, I could really go for. I'm like, oh, I have some, like it was lemonade, like it was a cup of coffee, and that got me booked on a show, and it works.
Hey. Do what you got to.
Addictions are his addictions.
That's amazing.
Well, he doesn't do cocaine, so why would he?
I mean,
He bought it so he could network.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I understand that, but she's like, how could you not do it? I was like, he doesn't do it.
In my house, I'm doing.
I don't like it like that. Yeah. I would do if heroin were like just like that. I'd warm up the spoon for him and everything, dude. A little bit brighter, but there, it's not. It's frowned upon. It's not nice.
Oh.
Go for it, Sharon.
No, I was just gonna say I remember the last show Saul did for Comedy Burger and stuff, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is it. Y'all got nothing else, so come on, you better laugh." I was like, "Shit."
Comedy Burger is hard to do. Most is a difficult room, man. There's only like 15 people in there. Sometimes if you ain't gonna get them, just like not tonight. But it's a great room that will separate. That will make a good comic push themselves to become a better comic, because it's one of those rooms where you want to win them over. So you're just like, fuck. I don't know if it's the angle of the room or just the way it's shaped, but sometimes it doesn't work out that night.
Okay.
When did you start running an open mic after, so you've been in comedy, 10 years?
Yeah, I hit 10 years, this month.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah,
how long after that did you start, running a room?
Oh, I think I started, oh man, what did I run? I ran a steakhouse. So I ran more shows I produced more shows than I did open mics. So that Finnegan's room was a dream of mine. I love running an open mic, but I don't like how open mics are run. I don't necessarily, but I love running them. I like the list. I like the hangout. I like giving young comics tags. I like everything about it. But it can be, you know, and the consistency of the money. I'm not gonna lie, having that open mic, because open mic hosts do get paid. And if they don't, they're dumb, because the bar makes money. So there's got to be a budget for you to be there. So I would always get paid. Plus, I'd have a budget for food, and that I enjoyed that aspect. I enjoyed being the open mic that nobody wanted to come to, because it's hard. It's difficult. It was a difficult thing to do. You go up there, and there's maybe somebody who's really drunk, or there might be cholos in there, and I just want to see how comics interact. And if you can make a joke, anyone laugh with written material, it's just somebody pops their head up from playing pool, and they just go, "Hey, that should be a signal." Like, that would probably kill in a regular audience. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. Makes warriors, and that's what I enjoy about tough mics. So that was my dream mic, and exactly as awful as it was with the lamp that hardly worked, with the sound problems, with the bartender. Every single bartender that worked at Finnegan's was awful to my hosts, to me. They didn't make it. It was bad, but I loved every bit of it, because now I feel like I can handle situations like all this entire week. It's been dogs at every show that I've been to, because it's outside in San Francisco. It's been garbage trucks. It's been helicopters, and it just me timing stuff right to where it goes into a joke, and it's just, you have to be able to adapt. And I feel like the comics who are complaining about outdoor shows right now either don't want to adapt, or maybe are obviously scared of the pandemic as well.
I ain't gonna lie, you were funny on Joking Words Zoom show too. I remember that. It was dying. Yeah, I was there.
I ate one, Sharon. I ate one so hard. Here's the thing. Fucking black rooms, they're hard to do because black people are honest. Black people on a Zoom show, the honesty there was incredible. I was like, this town is living. They're so comfortable in their house, they're like, fuck this fool. It was great though. I love Joking Word. And I would do that show again. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get him this time. You guys ever do Boston's Lounge?
I'm not.
I don't know if it's called Boston's Lounge now. I think it's called something else. But it was who used to run it?
I was gonna say, I love everything about Boston. Where the fuck is this place?
No, it's in Sacramento. It's in Rancho Cordova. It's called something. It's definitely a black room. 100%.
Is it JB's?
JB's.
I did JB's.
I did
So
JB's
much
once.
fun.
You did?
I did, and I saw Saul there. It was great.
JB's
I was
fun.
just glad that no one talked over me. I was like, hey, this is cool, because I saw there was only one other guy ahead of me that was a white dude. It was Frank Jr. And like halfway through his act, they're just talking. He's like, hey, throw me that shirt over here. You know, just totally. And I'm like, oh fuck, what am I getting myself into? And I didn't get.
Well, you got lucky, because they'll tell you straight up to get the fuck off stage.
Exactly.
They love David at JB's, man. JB's
really?
is like right down the street, but they're not.
They don't do a show there anymore. Well, obviously not with Corona, but they weren't before either.
Well, because David's classified as that white boy crazy. That's what he's classified as.
Asia had an open mic there all the time too.
She had one at Monty's.
She did, huh?
Yeah.
Sean Grady. You guys remember Sean?
Yeah, I was just with him the other night. Yeah, he's fucking nuts.
Yes, he ran Boston's Lounge that turned into JB's.
Oh.
That was one of my favorite rooms. That's where I saw Rico the Great destroy. Rico the Great's one of the greatest comics I've ever seen live.
Rico's funny.
You think so?
Oh my God! You have to get him on a good night, like that night. Like somebody answered their cell phone in the middle of the set, and then the guy had I guess nobody, guy was intimidating looking, but nobody had noticed how small the guy's hands was except for Rico. So Rico
Maybe he called him out.
Does 10 minutes on the guy's hands. He was like, look at this guy. He's heckling me with them small hands. He's like, you got small hands. He's like, what are you on the phone for doing regular hand people business? Regular hand people business. And tiny mitts. I was dying. I think I fell on a pool table. I laughed so hard. You got to catch
one lonely pool table in the back where there's always like this old guy selling birthday cake. I'm like, all right, I'll try some of your cake. Oh my God, the best fucking cake I've ever had. This guy sells them like I don't know, he bakes them, he brings them in, he packages them individually. So fucking good. And you know you're drunk and stoned, you just want some cake.
I can say that the cakes are good, but have you had the Philly fries?
Oh.
Philly fries, man.
I haven't had Philly fries.
Awesome.
Sacramento is an incredible place to get food. There's you guys put fries. I mean, you guys put the culture on top of fries mainly.
Yes.
Well, he's from some like podunk town. They probably don't have that there. I mean, I think they have it everywhere.
What?
Philly fries?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Indians who put nacho cheese stores here too. All right, they put they can make anything. They have ice cream. They sell batteries in the same store. We have that. We have a ghetto as well.
Why can't I find no fajita nachos anywhere though? No place has fajita nachos.
That's something you invented. You invented, buddy. That's
they used to have it at the restaurants back home. I'm not lying. Like there was a few that I would go to.
Because fajita nachos aren't a thing.
But they're so good. They should be a thing if they're not.
All right, we're
that's what pops in your head when you're fucking your cousin.
I'm loving it. I'm loving this.
Fajita fries so you don't cry.
I feel you.
One thing I want to get to, though, Danny brought it up, is I do want to talk about the Deaf Puppies because that is an amazing thing that you guys all have. I mean, there's comics, videos.
How that happened was there's this thing called the Modesto Area Music Awards. We were all nominated.
Yep.
We were all nominated. So then we started a group chat to talk shit on each other. So we started the Facebook group chat to where it's like, this sucks. You guys are awful. And then we started doing videos against each other. And then through that, we developed a bro kinship. And we were going to call ourselves Chris Teixeira and the Deaf Puppies. And he just condensed it down to the Deaf Puppies because we wanted to sound like a band. So he's like, nah, condense it down. And then we started just doing just fake videos and sketches. And that just formed into us collaborating into making like Scumbag Alley, which is like the comic strip that we do, to Chris writing in the newspaper and then just repping Deaf Puppies, to the comedy club that will hopefully potentially happen past COVID. But yeah, we had a run of shows where it was kind of like what SF had, what SAC has, where if an LA comic wanted to come through, we could get them a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know what I mean? It was always like, if you want to do shows in Stockton, Manteca, we were that gateway to where we had worked with each other in a network of ways of like, all right, let's make sure we can get this guy who opens for Bill Burr a place to sleep for a week and a place to there's comedian Sam Talent. He was like one of the runs that I had put together where I made sure that he got a week of gigs and he could see. I made sure that he could see all the almond orchards and see people. We're really the step cousin of California. So we're like, well, this isn't us. Check out all the cool shit that we have. And he had a lot of fun. And I don't know if you guys know Sam Talent, but he wrote that book, Running the Light. And that is apparently it's going to go down as one of the best comedy books as far as based on a comedian and how real our life is.
I read it and reviewed it, and it was a great book. I just didn't give it 5 stars because of something. I'm not going to give it away, but something, the way it ended, I didn't care for. And he actually called me out on it. And he texted me. He's like,
did he really?
And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, dude, I loved it. It's just, and I explained it. He's like, okay, when you put it that way, I get it. So he was cool about it. And I'm like, I hope you keep writing because it was fucking great, but it's just, and I'm an asshole. Yeah. I read a lot. There are some, writing and ending is fucking hard. Michael Crichton couldn't do it to save his fucking life. And I don't, but he rates like the first 80% is wonderful. And this was the same thing for Sam's book. So great book. And if you don't give him 5 stars, he is going to reach out to you and be like, hey, what the fuck?
Or you gave him 5 stars and an explanation, though. So I feel like he should respect that.
Oh, he totally was cool about it. And he was like, I was just curious. And I was like, yeah, no worries. And
is he from this area-ish?
He's from Denver.
Oh, okay.
He's from Denver, but he was when he was writing the book. I happened to catch him when he was writing the book. We had no idea he was writing the book. He was in Las Vegas, and that's how I got him to come to Sacramento, Stockton area.
That's dope.
So do you know people like the guy in his book?
Do I know people like the guy in his book?
Yeah.
Some of those people are probably from Sacramento, all right?
Oh my God, I want to read the book now. All right.
You should.
Yeah, some of those people I opened for, yeah.
Fiction.
All right. So does anybody have any other questions before we get into our awesome thing?
I think Dave Storm's talking.
Oh, he wanted to know if the book was fiction or nonfiction. Like that's a drop.
No, it's not based on. It's just based on like I think what a headliner
Life on the road.
Yeah, life on the road.
He can read it on the page.
Yeah. And my wife wanted me to tell you. We saw you when you opened for Chris Tinkle.
Hey.
And she said that you were better than Chris. So
that's not fair.
I'm just. She said, make sure you tell him, and I was like, cool, I will.
Damn.
I love both of you guys, but
more than his wife.
I married a Karen. What do you want?
They're useful.
Yeah, they are. They are. Get bad service, have a fucking Karen next to you. Great.
Yeah,
excuse me, this is unacceptable. When I hear her say unacceptable, it's like, oh shit, okay. So now you just sit back and watch.
You just cross your arms, just watch the thing go down.
I will walk away. Like I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Never walk away. Watch this out.
You've probably eaten so much food with spit in it, Rob.
I always make it clear that I'm not the one causing the problem. So
yeah, spit in her food.
Yeah, spit in her. She ordered the tacos. Make sure.
Get the extra sauce.
She ordered the fajita fries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fajita
nachos.
That's all. Just don't send the plate back. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Don't send the plate back.
I remember once she sent they were going to box up a plate. It was like some steak, and they brought it back, and then she opened the box, and there were shrimp tails in it, and she didn't have shrimp on her plate. So I don't know who she pissed off. Or whose plate that was before.
Yeah, they probably did worse than that to it.
Oh,
all right. If nobody has any more questions, we will move on to our ultra popular, amazing thing called Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliance.
Yes.
You say sexier than that.
Brilliant. Is that what you want, Sharon? I don't know what you want.
Just say you say it's sexier than that. I know.
Well, if you're listening and you want more of that, she does have an OnlyFans, so plug that. The link will be in the show notes. So we'll plug your social media, plug any shows you got coming up before we get into this.
Is this coming out tomorrow? When is this coming out?
It comes out on YouTube Saturday and then podcast on Monday.
Okay, at Saul Comedy, and the shows are $200 to promote because of COVID. I'm serious. 100%. That's where I'm at this point. No one's booking me except for, hey, you want to do my Rooftop? Yeah, I do.
All right, Rob, what do you got?
Get my side project, the Stand Up Dads podcast. New episodes come out every Sunday. I do that with my buddy Mike. We talk about parenting and stuff like that. Find it wherever your better podcasts are sold.
Yes. Sharon.
You can find me on I Am a Poetry Podcast. Right now we're doing a series called Real Poetry, where we do poems that are made in movies and stuff, poets and poetry. Check us out also on ResWonderland.com. That's RES Wonderland.com. And if you need some podcast, DJ work, check me out on Serious Productions.
Hey.
Danny.
Yeah, you can find me, Danny D, at
Brad Shake Forever.
Nick will put the link in the descriptions because he does his job right. So it's not hard to find me. I get around. I'm available.
To get around, round and round, round she goes.
Hey, David, since you're here, plug your stuff.
Loud.
Pretty much everything. The Southern Reject. Just that's Instagram, Twitch. Have a
speak up,
dude. Are you on heroin?
Are you nodding right now?
He's on an iMac mic. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You're on Twitch?
Yeah, I have a Twitch.
Oh, okay.
You can find David at the Southern Reject. Yep, the Southern fucking Reject. That's all you need to know. It doesn't matter. You don't need to find him. He's fine.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Find Saul. He's way.
That hurt.
Well, also find me on Twitter at the Big Nick J. It is it's a gay old time over there.
What are you doing on that Twitter these days?
Talking with podcasts and then talking about the state of affairs with radio being shitty. They're doing a huge layoff of iHeart in Sacramento now.
Oh, word?
Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah, which sucks because Sacramento iHeart was the one that was actually bringing in all the money. But yeah, they're cutting tons of people. It's going to be voice tracked. So I was going off on that, talking with people.
Ouch.
And then, of course, just making offensive jokes and getting called a douchebag for it. Okay. Inside the Comic Studio is brought to you by Seattle Gummy Company. A wide array of gummies from energy to CBD to immune. Mocha Shots High Energy Gummies also are available. They work 5 times faster than coffee and at half the price. 5 grams of sugar per gummy. Use promo code GAG15. Save 15% off your entire order. That works on all types of gummies as well as any promo. If they have 20% off, and you put in the GAG15, you'll get an additional 15% off that order. Okay. So, I take it you have not listened to the podcast before.
No, I don't listen to podcasts in general. Not even my own. I'm being serious.
We had a co-host like that, so.
I have a co-host like that.
So what we do is we ask all comedians the same 5 questions for Inside the Comic Studio. So the first question is, first joke that landed well.
The very first joke I ever told. It's I look like a baby and a lesbian at the same time. It's a stock fat joke. All the stock fat jokes that you probably I had them. I was a great first 3 years of my comedy career. I was a great fat comic joke teller.
All right. Favorite thing about the local comedy scene?
The local comedy scene. My current scene, I'm going to go Sacramento. That's where I started. My favorite thing about the current comedy scene is the willingness for comics to figure out how to make it work. Because currently right now we got Jenny at Laps making it work with the her disco shows with the headphones and shit. And all these outdoor shows, man, I'm like super surprised by them, and I'm like super proud of them, and the resilience of everybody is just incredible.
All right, now the exact opposite. One thing you dislike or would like to see changed in the local scene.
What I would like to see changed, it's already happening. COVID's the old school headliner mentality, like the Winnemucca thing, like headliners taking advantage of young comics, especially when it comes to money. And I'm starting to see that go away in general, just because of the headliners of this generation coming up. But like I would come up and they're scumbags. There'd be scumbags, and it's good to see them not around anymore.
Nice. All right. Favorite local comedian?
Emma Haney, hands down.
Nice. Yeah, she still won't get back to me about coming on, so.
You're gonna probably not get her, all right? She's such an introvert. If it's not Animal Crossing or fucking World of Warcraft, you're not gonna get her. But when she's on that stage, we came up. We've been doing it the same amount of time. When she's on the stage, she just makes me laugh. She's so goofy. She's just very funny. Emma Haney, hands down, is my favorite Sacramento.
She does Tails show.
She says Tails what? Tails show what? Is it a podcast?
No, it's a game show.
It's not a game show. It's different. It's the dungeon. It's the crap.
Yeah,
it's like Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
But it's not a game show. It's a show about a game.
Well,
you don't win things at the end.
Yeah.
All right, and then lastly, advice to new comedians.
Advice. Oh man, it's such a weird time to give advice right now. Because if I give you good advice, it's bad advice. I guess the best advice right now during these times is, I guess it's bad. Break the law. Go out and do it. Sorry. It's not the best time to be doing it, but if you're not going to be doing it now when it's hard to do, I don't know. I'm out there doing it, but I'm not supposed to be telling you that. You're supposed to be at home quarantining, but I'm not.
Go out there and save comedy.
Not necessarily that. Go out there, save yourself, and get good at comedy, even when times suck right now. But that's not the thing. I'm supposed. Stay home is what I'm supposed to say.
All right.
Right now, it's time to get strong. For real. If you can get funny right now, then when live comes back, you're gonna have no issues.
All right, that's good. I like that.
All right. Does anybody have anything else before we end this amazing episode? This was a fucking great episode.
You made his dream come true, Saul. So thank you very much. He gave me his list because I was like, "Well, who do you want?" And he's like, "Saul, Marcus Burwell," and then this list. And I was like, "Oh, I can text them. I can get them." And he's like, "Wow, they all said they'd do it." I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I can make your dreams come true."
Yeah, you really were my first choice of when she said, "Who can you get?" And I was like, I threw out, honestly, I'm not going to lie. And I threw out a name. I threw out your name and I was just like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And then when she sent me the screenshot and I was like,
I'm just funny, man. You're going to see a lot of guys who are funny and cunty. Don't hang out with the cunty ones. All right. Even I'm hoping to have this attitude even when I have whatever is supposed to come my way, whatever I think is supposed to come my way, whatever the industry thinks is supposed to come my way. Or if nothing comes my way, I'll probably still strive for being funny and down to earth, because that tattoo that I got, you ain't shit, that's to remind me that I ain't shit. All right.
So perfect for you. It's just so perfect. I love it. You know how I feel.
But yeah, man, if anybody, I encourage young comics to ask questions to me, especially if you need a tag or if you want me to watch your set, if I have anything to add to it. I mean, I'll watch and give you my opinion and where you should put what. But any headliner who's the opposite way can eat a dick.
And you know what? We're going to end it there because that is the best way to end this episode. Saul, thank you so much for coming on. I truly appreciate it.
No
Everybody,
problem.
Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves.
Later.
Take care. Take care.